If you don't know me, my name is Dr. Shivani Gupta. I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner. I'm a mom of two beautiful children who are at basketball right now, thank God. So I have a quiet home that's peaceful for an hour. And so now is my time slot to cook a yummy dinner. And if you have followed me in this group, Natural Remedies, you know I am all about fresh food, healthy food, and I'm all about us using Ayurvedic wisdom to help ourselves have better health. Because I don't know about you, but I have all sorts of health issues that I've had my whole life. I've had autoimmune issues. I've had gut health issues. I've had issues with the antibiotics I've taken. Basically, my body doesn't like anything foreign, and I've had to really craft a pathway or life for myself. And I know many of you have as well. The group is called Natural Remedies for Vibrant Health. So that means you're all into natural solutions. You don't want a pill to solve a problem. You want natural options. And so that's where food and cooking comes in, because if we can spend a little more effort, not even effort, if we can bring a little more awareness to what we're eating and the rhythm with which we're eating and how we're eating and what we're putting into the food, the superfoods we're consuming, we can really transform our health from the ground up. We can transform how we feel. We can transform our energy, our concentration, our focus. I know many of you have talked to me and complained to me about brain fog, being exhausted, having your hormones out of balance, having thyroid conditions, having gluten intolerance. I mean, the list goes on and on. And I totally feel your pain because I am in the same boat on a lot of those things. And so it takes deliberate effort to not have those issues, but cooking and food is a piece of that. So what I'm going to show you how to cook today is two dishes from Indian cooking. One is rajma, and one is an Indian vegetable. I didn't have cauliflower or green beans with me, but basically you cook cauliflower or green beans like this Indian vegetable. It's called barma. You pick it up at the Indian grocery store. But because I didn't have a regular vegetable, I had to do those. But just know that I'm going to show you basically how to cook cauliflower with potatoes, Indian style, using potent Ayurvedic spices that are very beneficial for your health. If we use these different Ayurvedic spices, what's really beautiful about this is we're investing in putting the spices into our body that reduce our inflammation, that help us digest our food better, that help our bodies absorb all the nutrition that we're about to consume. And so that's what I find so beautiful about Ayurvedic spices is turmeric is so potent. And if you guys know me, you know my master's was in Ayurvedic sciences. My PhD was on turmeric. So I'm obsessed with turmeric. I'm obsessed with all these spices and what they can do for us. So any Indian household, it's so loud. Any Indian household would have a spice box like this. Mine's missing a few things, but we have coriander, turmeric, red chili powder. This is garam masala, cumin seeds. This one's salt, red chili powder, of course, and this one's mango powder to give a lemony taste to the food, or you can just use a fresh lemon. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with the kidney bean dish, and then I'll jump right into the vegetable dish after. So the way I cook my kidney beans is I use an Instapot. Right here is my Instapot if you can't see it on the screen. I find the Instapot to be the most magical invention to the kitchen ever. It makes my life so much easier. So I took 2 bowls of kidney beans. I take this measuring device. 2 of these feeds my family easily. And obviously kidney beans need a lot of cooking. So I set this like a long time ago to pressure cook all my kidney beans. And they're beautifully cooked in here. This is what it looks like. All happily cooked in their water, well cooked. So I usually pressure cook that for about 45 minutes. 45 minutes is enough. So now that this is ready, we consider that the part 1 of any Indian dish. The part 2 that you do separately, you cannot do them together, is cooking these. If you are Hispanic or from Latin America, I might be saying that wrong. If you're from Latin America, you might eat, what do they call it? We call it masala. You guys call it, there's a word for it, tomato, onion, garlic, ginger mixed together. Sofritos, you guys call it sofritos. So this is a lot like your sofritos, it just has different spices involved. We use our Indian Ayurvedic spices to create our flavor, but you know the concept of how you cook it. And one thing that's interesting about when you cook it is you need to do your tomato later. Tomato cuts off the cooking ability of the food. So we're going to cook all 3 of these, then that, and then I'll cook this. So I'm going to carry you guys over to my happy stove. I am not a professional chef at all. I am also not organized enough to have like the 8 cameras that these amazing cooking chefs use. So I'm going to carry you over on my happy computer and try not to ruin my happy computer. Here we go. So I hope you guys are having an amazing happy Thursday. I have had my green tea so I can be peppy and happy. It's kind of necessary. And as you all know, tea time is me time. My whole life and body runs on tea, no matter what. It's like the one thing that's necessary. Here we go. Okay, so we're gonna start with the mix for the kidney beans. If you guys want to take pen and paper, I did not give exact measurements because I'm one of those people, but I'll try to get a measuring cup and do my best by you guys. So we're gonna start with, actually not this one. We're gonna start with the smaller pan here for the masala mix. Basically, this applies to any lentil you cook. So if you were cooking a brown lentil, a yellow lentil, it does not matter. What I love about the way I've learned cooking is it's very easy. I like simple and easy. So I take oil. In my home, we use olive oil. I mean, in my home, we use avocado oil. Ta-da! I buy it from Costco. Feels like by the caseload. And pour some oil there. I'm a little generous because I need it to coat all the things I'm going to cook. What's funny is my house just ran out of a spice that I love called hing. Hing in the West is called asafoetida, A-S-A-F-O-E-T-I-D-A. So when you start for cooking any lentil, we put in our oil, we put in our sprinkling of cumin seeds and a pinch of that spice called hing. All my ladies who've done my program know I'm obsessed with hing. I want all of us to consume hing daily, and it helps us digest the lentils and foods we're going to eat next. So I'm heating up my pan. I can feel it getting hot. You want the oil to start to warm first, then we're going to add the cumin. We're going to pretend to add the hing and continue on from there. And in this pan over here, in just a few moments, I'm going to cook the vegetable. Cool. So let's get started. I'm going to add my hing in. Let's get a spoon so you guys can see my happy measurements. All right, here we go. So here's the hing. The cumin, I'm going to add about half a teaspoon into the pan. And you want to wait until you see these start to dance and move and brown. You don't want to just keep moving through the process too fast. What I learned about Indian cooking from my father-in-law when I got married was patience. You have to have patience. Even though I don't have a ton of patience when it comes to cooking, I've learned to. You see how here the cumin's dancing? So give it a moment to do that. Give it a moment to release its aroma, to do its thing, and then you continue on. But you don't want it to burn. I'd say a quarter of the time I burn them, have to throw them away and start over. So you have to kind of watch it. You might want to turn down your heat to a more medium heat. Don't go for high heat. While that's happening, watch it. It has to be just the right time. And then we're going to add our onion, ginger, and garlic. And we're going to lovingly cook that on like a medium temperature. Perfect. Now I can smell it. I can smell the aroma of the cumin. It's so good. I love the smell of spices. It's like my favorite thing. That and tea. I could smell tea all day and I could smell spices all day. Okay, I added, gosh, I didn't measure it. Let's say a cup of onion, and let's say 2 tablespoons of ginger and garlic. So now, you want to see, we'll cook it. We're going to basically cook it down. We're going to cook it to be translucent onions. We're going to cook it to be much softer and cooked. Then we're going to add the tomato. So this thing I'm going to turn down. And I'm going to keep sauteing it. Now I'm going to go ahead and start my vegetable with you guys. So this is not an 8-hour cooking class. I like doing many things at the same time. So typically right about now, I'll also go ahead and grab my rice cooker, put my 1.5 cups of rice in it, wash the rice a couple times, add my cumin seeds and oil, set that to cook. The rice is done by the time the lentils are done, and by the time the vegetable is done. And in my household, we love naan and paranthas and all our Indian bread. I don't have time to make them. So I go to the Indian store and buy them in packets, and then I toast those and serve those with our Indian food. The modern household. I'm not making those from scratch. But I'm going to show you how to make any Indian vegetable with the spices. So here we go. Here we go, guys. Ta-da. So I'm going to turn this pan on. I'm going to do the exact same steps as I just did. And know that cumin has so many benefits for the body. It helps reduce the gas producing properties of any food. It helps you digest the food better. It gives a nutty taste to the food and different layers of flavor too. But truly, we add cumin and hing to the food so the food digests better. So all those of you who are like going vegan and trying to eat more lentils and chilies and stews, hing and cumin are a must for the digestive support that we need for those foods. So I heated up this pan. I'm gonna add oil. You can also cook with ghee. I don't know how many of you guys cook with ghee. In my household, we obviously love ghee. I picked this up at the Indian store a couple weeks ago, and we're almost done with it. I like to add a spoon of ghee on top of my kids' food so they get that healthy fat. It's so good for oilation of the digestive system. It's great if you have leaky gut. So I've been putting it on my food too. I find it so important to like seal up that gut lining with love. As you know, 70% of the immune system resides alongside the gut. So everything we can do to love on the gut is imperative, pertinent, incredibly important, of the utmost importance, guys. That's with gut health. I make sure my children take their probiotics, their D, everything's daily. Of course, I make sure I do too. So I'm going to heat up that pan and I'm going to do the exact same step, cumin and hing. So that's where I said I love how Indian cooking can be so scientific. It's just step by step. Sometimes if your food sucks, it just needs more salt, oil, or chili. I have found. It's like my little cheat. At the end, I just adjust the spices a little bit if I need to. I use extra cumin and sometimes extra other spices because I'm obsessed with them. But don't go too overboard because your food will taste too strong and too weird. So my onion, garlic, ginger concoction is cooking very well. If you guys want to take a look, it's looking like that. See how it's browning a little bit? We're going to let it keep going so it's really well cooked. Not good cables. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to wait for these cumin seeds in my Indian vegetable dish to start dancing and moving. And we're going to get to the next step. This is almost done. So the step that's next that I do with this is once this is brown, I'm going to add my tomatoes. I'm going to let that cook down properly as well. And then I'm going to stick all of this in the Instapot, seal it, and put it on slow cooking. Because the important part is that the two must integrate together. But I've got to get this spice creation right first. So now, once this is cooked down pretty well, I add the spices. So here you go. I want you guys to be able to see it. I'm going to add half a teaspoon turmeric. You guys know I'm the turmeric girl, obsessed. I'm going to add a little more because, you know, we all need more turmeric in our lives. Red chili powder to make it nice and spicy, but not too spicy because my kids would erupt over it. I'm going to add salt. I have pink salt here, purple salt. No, it's pink salt, Himalayan pink salt. This is not enough, so I'm going to run and grab more. And coriander. So we buy coriander seeds and we grind them in my Vitamix or Blend Tech monthly because every food takes a lot of coriander. So I added that coriander to the dish. I have garam masala here, but you don't add certain spices until the end. Again, just like the acidity of tomatoes will turn off the cooking of a dish, we have certain steps, certain orders of how we cook things. So now I'm going to add the tomato in. After all this cook down with the spices, allow it to really integrate and cook together before we go ahead and add it to the Instapot. It's really about making sure everything gets coated well, making sure the spices are covering everything properly, giving it an opportunity to integrate these flavors, and then later this will go over there. So I'm gonna let that cook for a few moments. Now my cumin seeds are starting to dance here. Can't quite smell them yet, but it looks like that. And again, remember, every Indian vegetable, pretty much, I cook the same. So it's not so hard. Once you understand it, you're just doing the same thing again and again. Tonight, it could be cauliflower. In my home, we're Indian and vegetarian. So like tonight, it's kidney beans. Tomorrow, it'll be a yellow lentil and cauliflower for the vegetable. The next day, it'll be a brown lentil and bell pepper with potatoes. We're not so unique around here. We just keep cooking the same foods. And then we eat out on the weekends to get some variety. Thai food, Mexican food, all the fun things. I also love making epic Mexican food. If you know me, I'm from Houston, Texas. So life is all about the Mexican. All right, here we go. See? Dancing, beautiful cumin seeds. And they're browning. They're getting kind of close to where we should not be letting them brown anymore. So I'm going to add my vegetables. This vegetable is not going to take quite as long to cook as the potato actually it is. We're going to drop the vegetable in first, then the potato. Important to know what needs a longer cook time. Typically, you put the vegetable in first and the potato in second, based on how hard the veggie is and how long it needs to cook. Turn down the heat, because obviously that's too much heat. Try it too loud. You turn it down so I'm not torturing you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little water and close it and let it cook and steam just to help it cook faster. Some people like to pan fry in more oil. I'm a big water to cook the foods type of person. I'm going to give it a minute, but then I'm also going to add the spices in so it has time to assimilate and integrate and absorb the spices and that flavor. So we'll give that a minute. I'm going to show you again my happy masala, or like some people call it, sofritos, or your kidney beans. My mom always taught me it's like love is the main ingredient that makes our food taste good, right? So it's always so important when you are cooking to just check in with yourself, check in with how you feel. Just like I teach you guys, tea time is me time as a self-care act. Same thing. It's like, how do I feel? Am I happy? If I'm not, let that go at the door. And can I put some love into this food that I'm going to feed my husband, my children, myself, my father-in-law, my family? It's so important that we do that. So important that we put peace into our food and not frustration or anger or any of those things. So this is still cooking down. I want it to take a little more time. I want these tomatoes cooked. Note how they're not cooked. See how it's so red and bright? I need them cooked down a bit more before I add them over there. So I'm going to show you how much spice I'm going to add to this dish. Let's make this a little louder now. Well, I'm not going to make it louder because then you're going to die when I open this thing. So let me grab salt. Hold on, happy people. I forgot the salt. Amazing. See this salt that I buy from Costco. Pink Himalayan salt. I'm a big salt fan. Comment below with if you're a salty person or a sweet person. Comment below with where you're checking in from, if you can see me right now, because I never know. Okay, I'm going to add 1 more spoon of salt to my kidney bean mixture. And salt to my happy filter. Cool, yeah, got it. Okay, so now I'm going to add my spices to my veggie mixture. And this is going to be in proportion for the veggie and the potatoes that are going to go in there. Okay. See how the veggies are nicely getting cooked in there. I would do about a little over half a teaspoon of the turmeric, 1/4 teaspoon of red chili powder, full teaspoon salt for flavor, 2 heaping teaspoons coriander powder, ground coriander powder for flavor. Oopsie daisy, I spelled it wrong. And I might add more salt later to the flavor based on what is needed. So it's so important to always like test where you're at, see if it tastes good and right. I'm going to mix this. So now all this spice and flavor can start integrating into here. And it'll almost create like a curry paste on the bottom of the pan, if you see that, which is perfect because when the potatoes come in, I want the potatoes to get all that spice, of course, and flavor. It smells so good. I love the smell of spices. I'm going to get all that yummy coriander off my stove. I don't have troubles. Perfect. So the tomatoes cooking down well. It's kind of taking too long, so I'm going to turn up the heat on it. Let it get there faster for us. Perfect. That's cooking at a good temperature too. We're getting closer to done, guys. If you're on here and catching the replay, let me know. I'd love to see who's on here. You guys can see what I'm up to. Ah, there's some happy humans. Hi, Sylvia. She wants to come over for a to-go box. Absolutely, anytime, my friend, you come on over. So part of why I wanted to show this to you guys is so you could see how healthy eating is so possible and so doable, how Indian Ayurvedic cooking is so possible and doable, how cooking healthy and fresh can be done quickly and easily, how I make lentils and stews. We are entering the fall season. And as an Ayurvedic practitioner, it's my duty to recommend that we all do a seasonal detox. So the intersection of seasons is actually now, September 22nd, which I believe was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. Yesterday was the fall equinox. Oh, don't look at that grody vent thing I'm supposed to replace in my kitchen that I don't have time to replace. At the intersections of seasons, we're supposed to do seasonal detoxes. Why? Because it helps us clear out the pathways of the past and move into the fall season ahead clean. So for example, summer just ended, Pitta season, that's one of the doshas that just ended. And so if we can do a detox right about now, and I don't mean anything harsh or annoying, there can be detoxes that are like nourishing and lovely. Then we're clearing away the heat of the summer before we walk into the fall windy weather. And it's a great way to prevent colds and flus and things like that. And I don't know about you, but I don't want any colds or flus in the fall winter season. I just want to stay healthy. I want to have a peaceful, zen, easy fall season with children who stay in school, and I get to stay at work. So we all have our goals, but it's so important to know how our efforts now can contribute to us getting to have those goals. And part of that is how we cook and what we're cooking. So fall foods include stews and warming foods to the body. And this is one great way to do a stew. And you can always add fall root vegetables like beets, squash, carrots, all these lovely fall foods, at least the squash and beets part, to make it fall related, eating more of those seasonal foods that help us stay according to the fall season. So I'm going to open this up. That's how it looks. Whoa, it's cooking pretty well. I love that. Look at that. I'm going to add water. So all this lovely spice that's kind of getting cooked down stays a little curry-like, especially as I'm going to add my potatoes in now for this dish. And I'm going to cover it again to allow the cooking process to happen in peace. It's important when you cook a vegetable to let it cook, and then once you think it's done, close the pan and just let it cook for a few minutes longer. I have found that in Indian cooking, the magic is that last few minutes. I used to, when I was 20, long time ago, be so impatient, be like, okay, it's done. And it would always end up a little raw, or all the vegetables wouldn't have the flavor. So here, see how the potatoes are now properly coated with the spices? So now the spice is evenly spread. We're gonna close it, put it on a little bit lower and let that cook. This has cooked down. See how beautifully cooked down that is? So we're gonna move that over now to our kidney beans. Here we go, guys. You're coming with me. All right. Okay. Choking here. As I cook with so many spices, I choke, and I have to open the doors to like let the spice out. So here's my kidney beans. It's a little bit high in there. Kind of overdid it. This is like 2.5 days of kidney beans for this house. We're gonna take this spice mix, mix it in here. What I always do is I always take a little bit of the kidney bean water and bring it back into the pan. Look at how much of my spice is getting left on my pan, guys. I want to keep it all. So I always take some water and some of the beans, add them back. I'm going to show you the most magical trick of Indian cooking and cooking these types of dishes that you might not realize. So you know how you go to an Indian restaurant, everyone's like, yeah, I ate the curry. I ate the curry. Curry is like one dish we eat. All of our foods technically have a curryness to them, and there's a reason for that. It's because when you make this dish, let's say you took this right now and you just mixed it, and you're like, all right, I'm done. I mix the two flavors together. It must integrate well. I'm done. No way. They have to cook together in heat for that tomato, onion, garlic, ginger part to infuse into the kidney beans. It doesn't like happen by osmosis without a process. So heating it is important. Using plastic spoons, hold on. Be more happy. wooden and bamboo spoons in my house. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna smash the beans against the side of my Instapot. If you forget this step, you will have kidney beans in water separate from tomatoes and onions. And it's not pretty and it's not as yummy. It's not nearly as satisfying. Pardon my mess. As you can see, I'm not the cleanest cook. I make a mess. So we're gonna smash almost a third of the beans against the side of the Instapot. I'll do a quarter of them just because I don't want to be on camera for 2 hours doing this job. This is why I work out, y'all. I need the strength. So I'm going to smash and smash and smash my beautiful kidney beans. And this has already changed the appearance. If you look, all of a sudden it's looking like a curry. It's looking more integrated. That's how you get the curryness of Indian food. Smashed. Super high-tech, innovative process. So this is looking good. I'm going to smash a little more. And then I'm going to close this and set this on the slow cooker setting and allow all of these delicious flavors to simmer together and make the amazing dish that I'm like the best at. This is the dish I'm best at. If you come to my house, I usually cook this one dish. I've gotten pretty good at brown lentils too, but kidney beans to me is like the most comforting, yummy food on earth. So I put it on slow cook. 30 minutes is set already. It's like already on there and it'll start. Now let's go back to our happy vegetable. And I usually just take a rice cooker. That was really graceful of me. I usually take my rice cooker right here and I add 2 of these of rice, put it in here, wash it a ton. Like I mentioned, I add like a dollop of oil and a whole teaspoon of cumin seeds and some salt, maybe half teaspoon salt, mix it up. And the rice cooker will make the rice while I do this. I'm not gonna do this on camera because I didn't have it over here, but I'm just letting you know. Rice with kidney beans is just epic. It's delicious and amazing. And then this vegetable you eat with any bread. You eat it with pita bread if you wanted. Any form of tortilla and anything like that that you like. All right, I'm turning the volume back up. So if you turned your volume down, please note so I don't drive you nuts. There, turning my volume back up. And we're gonna check on this dish. You have to constantly check on your dish. You can't just leave it unattended, hoping and praying for the best. Make sure it doesn't burn. Sometimes you have to take the lid off just a tiny bit to ensure that this whole thing doesn't get soggy. Like you want it to cook, but you do not want it to get soggy. And I would say cook time, maybe another 10 minutes on that dish. You have to make sure the potato got cooked well, the vegetables cooked, that the spices integrated, let it cook down, and then it becomes what will eventually look like this, but better cooked. It'll look like a proper cooked vegetable. It just has to soften. So I'm gonna turn that down and let it cook in peace. It needs some time. Come over here and wrap up with you guys. So that was my cooking class for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. My goal is always to show you guys new ways to cook and live healthy and live according to your dosha. If you haven't heard me talk about doshas, doshas are your mind-body constitution. It's your way to live healthy and live according to your individual mind-body constitution. Last week at Yoga Journey, I taught a workshop on the Pitta dosha. And my intention was to show people that if you know your dosha and you live according to it, you can completely transform your health and your life. And it's so important that we take the time to do this, that we take the time to understand and know ourselves so that we can balance that and have the health that we crave. It's not easy in this day and age to live a healthy lifestyle that's balanced and good, where we feel good. I'm finding that more and more of my private clients are tired, have brain fog, have hormonal imbalances, have such frustrating autoimmune conditions that they're dealing with. And so I'm always trying to show everyone how we can take Ayurvedic spices and Ayurvedic tools to feel better. As you guys know, Fusionary Method is my 6-week program. I'm going to be starting my next group next week. So if you're interested, message me, let me know. My intention there is to show you over the course of 6 weeks how you can personalize Ayurveda to you. And so we go through sleep and truly fixing sleep. We go through gut health. We go through diet, Ayurvedic diet, spices, cooking. So you have an understanding of how to cook for yourself in a way that's so nourishing. My last group became so addicted to khichdi. And it was so funny because They use khichdi now all the time as their way to support themselves whenever their gut health is off or they're not feeling right, and they reset themselves just like that. I also taught hormonal health, a whole module on women's hormonal health. I taught a whole module on the dosha itself and how to balance your primary and your secondary dosha back to where you were when you were born. So we were born with a certain dosha. And so if you can bring yourself back to that whole place, then all of a sudden you feel incredible. You feel like yourself again. You feel like your body is yours. I'm hearing a lot of women share, I'm fatigued, I'm tired, I don't feel good, I'm unfocused, I have no energy, I don't have the ability to do my work, a lot of different things. And so understanding how to cook the food is one thing, but understanding the rhythm of your day and how to eat the food is a whole separate process, a whole separate understanding. And then understanding how to rev your own digestive fire up every day like an engine, so you have a faster metabolism, so you have a body that's churning and burning and moving through what you're eating is so important. I love educating women on our health when it comes to thyroid conditions, autoimmune conditions, perimenopause, menopause, and how to get through that whole journey in a way that's more balanced. And so Fusionary Method starts next week. I would love to help you on that journey if that's where you're at, if that's the support you need right now. There's a really beautiful thing about gathering in a group of women collectively and supporting each other. I think we all know as women, we need accountability. We need a circle of support if we're going to make these transformative health changes, just like if we want to make them in our business or in our personal life or with our kids. I am always all about going to get training or coaching or mentorship or support. And so that's why I created this. I wanted a way for us as women to come together, lift each other up, support each other. Sometimes we give each other tough love to really rebuild our health from the ground up. Because if you have any of these conditions, it doesn't matter what kind of entrepreneur you want to be, you're not going to win. There's such a long marathon in entrepreneurship, in our work, in motherhood, in our marriages. And so I find that if we aren't putting self-care and self-awareness, tuning into our intuition, tuning into our health more deeply, then we aren't going to have the energy and focus to win at any of those things. Like I want all of those things vibrant and optimal, but it takes true focus. It takes true effort. It takes understanding and having the tools. And so many of the lovely ladies who took my course in the past got such tremendous benefits. I know Sylvia's on here. She lost 8 pounds the first time and 12 the second, 20 pounds in doing Fusionary Method twice without even trying. It was like an unexpected byproduct of doing the program. I was like, who are you? So many of my other ladies had that too, though. Gina had that experience. Some of the other ladies just felt phenomenal after. Their hormone levels were better. Their arthritis was better. Their markers and their blood work was better. Their inflammation was down big time. Their autoimmune conditions were in control. And all their energy and focus and stuff was much, much, much better than when they started. So we're seeing that women really can get a huge shift in their health, and that same shift translates to your energy, your focus, your business, your work, your job, your life, really. That's what I'm all about, is showing you guys how Ayurveda can give all that to us. So be well, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the cooking class. We can go see if my vegetable's done now. I don't know if it is. Let's see. I hope it is. The bad habit of letting things go and walking away from my kitchen. My husband makes so much fun of me. He's like, Shivani, I've never met a cook who just leaves the kitchen, goes and does 2-3 errands around the house, and then comes back to burnt food all the time. That's my reputation around here, which is so unfortunate because, I mean, they should credit me for all the good I do. So this is actually technically done. I can tell the potatoes cooked through, the veggies cooked through, but now is when the magic happens. We're going to turn it off and close it and let that last little phase of cooking happen. Let it like congeal and soak up all those yummy spices and become epic. So I hope you guys are having an amazing day. If you guys ever want me to teach you a class on anything else, let me know, comment below. I love teaching on anything in life, having to do with health, of course. I'm not an expert on everything. And this is my happy tea kettle. If you guys know me well, I am like the queen of tea, queen of turmeric, queen of tea, my two things. This is my happy tea drawer where I keep my like millions of kinds of tea. If you haven't tried them, I created 2 teas in the last year. I'm so excited about them. metabolism tea, I'm holding it so wrong, and deep sleep tea, two of my favorites. I had this one earlier today. This is my nighttime ritual for myself. And if you have any questions about the spices, ask away. But these are all the spices we use. So just so you know, when that kidney bean dish opens, its last thing I get to do is half a teaspoon of garam masala. Garam masala has black pepper. It's what increases the absorption of the turmeric. I'm also going to add a squeeze of lemon, and that'll finish off the flavors of the kidney beans. Same for this dish. Half teaspoon garam masala, squeeze of lemon, done. And so that's it, my ladies and my 1 or 2 gentlemen who might be in this whole natural remedies group. That was your live cooking class. Happy Thursday, be well. Comment below if you have any questions at all, or if you want to learn a different dish. I'll cook another one for you guys. One day I'll have to make khichdi for you guys. In the program, everyone loved it. We did an amazing detox last time. And this time, if the group is interested, you can definitely do an amazing fall detox together again. So be well, everybody. Have an amazing, happy Thursday. And I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, bye, everybody.